Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Jeannie. I'm so thankful that you stopped by today. I would love it if you like this video when it's over, if you would give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment telling me what you loved about this journal, and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload more videos. So I'm sharing a flip through of this Reader's Digest hardcover beachy ocean themed journal. This was a custom order. She had seen me share this book on an estate sale haul, and she was like, when you make that, I have to have that journal. She loved it. So it's funny because it took on a whole different direction. So when I originally got this book, I thought I was going to use like pastels and kind of do like a baby album kind of thing with it, but I love the turn it took and how it turned out. It was kind of inspired, well, it was totally inspired by these three. These are going to be little minis, and obviously I haven't put the pages or anything in yet, but by the time you see this video, they may or may not be sold. You'll have to go to my Instagram. I will link that below, and just go check and see, or you can send me an email and say, hey, did that ever sell? If you're interested in one of these, they will have similar things inside, except these will probably just be regular journals, junk journals with a beachy or ocean theme. This is actually a prayer journal. She wanted this to be like a faith-based prayer journal. She actually lives at the beach, so I hope she gets to write down lots of prayers and puts lots of photos and memories in here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the flip through. So I was going to do a super chunky tassel, but once I finished it, I felt like it just needed like just more of a simple one, and so I just added these seam binding, these different colors of seam binding. This one I hand dyed with like a salty ocean colored. Wait, no, I did not do this with ink. I did it with some ink spray. Wait, no, I did not do it with ink sprays. I actually did this with some tie-dye powder. And then this purple one was a coffee dyed one. And I don't necessarily love the coffee dyed look when it's on seam binding, but I had ordered it that way and still had a bunch, and it fit perfectly with this journal. I did the closure with it too. I love how it looks like it's kind of washed up, washed ashore and kind of dirty. It's not dirty, it's just coffee dye. But anyways, and then I hung some of these beautiful buttons and then some seashells. I had actually gotten these seashells this past weekend at an estate sale. I come across some people that had a bunch of wind chimes, so I bought a couple of the wind chimes and I washed them and took them apart, and I'm using those. So I loved finding that was just perfect for this journal. So on the cover, or on the spine, I put this fabric, super cute. This was actually from Walmart, and it was over with like the fat quarters. This is some of it, but that was just so perfect to me how that worked out with this journal. And then I just used some lace here and here, and then this was just a gauzy scarf type piece of fabric I found recently. And this excuse me, this was actually the last of some tulle I was gifted. It has little pearls in it. I love this so much. I was gifted this years ago, like in 2019 or 2020. I had ordered a journal from Miya. She's over at Treasure Keeping. She's in the UK, and I don't know if she posts YouTube anymore. I need to go see, because I really enjoyed watching her years ago. And I know she's always posted on Instagram. She has a line of stickers and stuff, but I've just saved this and used it, just little bits of it here and there. So I just felt like this is where it needed to go. I was just trying to make it look like the deep end of the ocean. Kind of like this one. But this blue to me just didn't really work. And now I'm looking at it and thinking this would have worked beautifully. But for whatever reason, this night, this is what I thought worked best. So this one turned out super chunky. So on the inside, here's some more of that fabric. And I just left this hanging because I thought she could just, I would probably leave it if it were my journal, or she can glue it over here, or she can just snip all this off and just have this extra fabric. But I did a hidden spine with this one, or hidden binding. This is a super cute piece of acetate. I used a collection in here. It was a paper collection my sister gifted me for my birthday back in December. Let me show you. It's called Enchanted Ocean, and it's by Sarah Davies. I feel like she's in Australia maybe. But anyways, she also shares a lot on QVC, my sister said. And so this was perfect for this journal, and then I feel like a sheet or two will be cuter, at least to make tags and stuff for these with that collection. And so it come with vellum, like a pack of vellum, a pack of acetate, like different prints, super thick, but I stitched it down and prayed it wouldn't break my needle the whole time. I was like, ah. But it worked fine. Stamped I'm Forgiven on this little label and put this Tim Holtz card in here. But how pretty is that over that paper? This is some of my dyed paper. I did some blues and purples, and if you watched the video probably a month or so back now, I had dyed some yellows, and look at how pretty this came out. These yellows and oranges. I was trying to achieve the color of a Caribbean sunset. And so anyways, I knew that this journal was coming next, so I did some blues and purples. And then I just made a ruffle from this satin fabric. I actually found this fabric, like I was almost done with this journal, and I found a big piece of this fabric, and then some die cuts. I'll show y'all when I get to them, at a garage sale this past weekend, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's perfect. Oh, and seam binding at a different one that was this color, lime green, and then a different color blue. And I mean, it was like everything just came together so beautifully to finish this journal up. But anyways, satin ruffle. I made some of these little snippets and stamped I'm Seen and Loved. Here's a music page. I stapled this little sea turtle here. And then I put a piece of vintage ephemera in here I thought that piece of paper just went beautifully with this sandy color. Here's a little scrap with a starfish on it. I love the color of this coffee dye look next to the creams and the whites. I love the contrast. Stamping here and a little sticker. I did use one of those clearanced Hobby Lobby paper kits that a lot of us bought back a couple months ago for the die cuts in here. I feel like it was called Watercolor Ocean, maybe. There's a shaker card. Stamped Be Strong and Courageous on the back. And she could glue this down and turn it into a pocket, a tuck spot, or just journal on the back. Or she may want to use that as a bookmark or something. So I just clipped that in. Stamped a bird and put Pray About It with a little starfish charm. This is an adorable sticker from Melissa at Thrifty Vintage Market. I had opened some Happy Mail from her yesterday as I was finishing up this journal, and I was like, I have to put one of these little, it's just little vintage yo-yos with little buttons on them. Such a cute sticker. And then this is just one of those file folder tabs. I glued it down and then, or stapled it, and then I put an eyelet in it to hold the charm. Another just little snippet tab. And then here's some of the dyed paper, and then I sprayed some ink sprays over it. And I'm loving how it kind of ran into the greens and blues and colored other parts of the paper. And I love how it's glittery. Stamped "You Make My Heart Sing." I put 3 of these little post-it notes in here that says "Be Still." This is from a vintage, like a sketchbook about ships and lighthouses. So I thought the lighthouses was fitting for this. Look how beautiful, like all these papers, as they were wet and they ran together, like the colors ran together. I just love, like there's coffee, there's blue and purple. I love this for an ocean journal. See how it's kind of green and yellow over here? I just put one of these Dollar Tree prayer cards with some tropical flowers in there. Stamped "Let Faith Arise." This is a little piece of my washi from Allie Brown. I thought I'd just alter this little envelope. I just tore out this piece of paper, inked it, stamped "Pray About It." And then on the inside, I just put a sheet of this dyed paper and stamped "Pray" and then "Praise" on the back. So that just clips on right there. Another piece of like just a satin scarf. A lot of these textiles that I use, these bohemian textiles, were from Salena at More Fabrics. You'll need to go. I don't know why I say fabrics. I don't know if that's how you say it. But by the way it's spelled, I feel like that's how you say it. But anyways, y'all need to go check out her newest video of how her shop's coming along, y'all. That's amazing. That's just truly amazing what all she's done on her own for that. Just tied a little shell here, and I'm just remembering I never went and tied the other one on last night here. She loved this journal too, so I thought I would give her one of these little stamped mermaids. And then I just left these where she can either cut them off or she can just hide a photo or write down a prayer and hide it back here. Just put some music paper here. And I will also stamp some other beachy type stamps that I have on some like coffee dye paper and just include that in the add-on pack of things she can finish filling this up a lot more. More music here, some bling. Another little piece of this trim. Little fish there. Some dyed grid paper, graph paper. I just used some stickers here and put the word abide. Clipped on a flower that I feel like looks like a tropical flower. I don't know if it's a tropical flower, but it was fitting for this journal. And then a little seashell die cut. That was one of those that I got. I paid $1/4 for those, y'all. I got a pack of like mermaids and then shells and then another pack of little shells. And they were like birthday party decorations. So it just went perfectly in here. Did some stamping here. Got this in Happy Mail from my friend Lynette. And stamped, I believe who you say I am. Stamped another sheet for her to open up and write on that says praise. I did leave the threads on here. This was just an image of a beach from a, it's like a wall art book. Love that book. I just altered some vintage book pages and made a bunch of blank cards one day when I was just wanting to do something but didn't want to think too deeply. And I love how they turned out, and obviously you can embellish these further, but just put some washi and some stamping. A little sheer pocket here. Did some stamping. Vellum pocket. And put one of these postcards in here and just glued down a little lace embellishment I had dyed. And this has a wide space in the middle so it will lay flat if she were to stuff it full of pictures or something. This was a, I love how this sounds. It was vellum that I dyed and it gets super hard and crunchy. Stamped I'm Always With You. And a little starfish. Satin trim here. A lot of these purple like stickers and this card and stuff. I had won Paper Terraces giveaway back in the spring, and y'all, I got to thinking yesterday, I don't know if I ever shared me opening that, but that was such a blessing to win that. And anyways, I was able to pull out some of her things and use in this journal. Vintage typewriter book page. I made a shaker out of just a card, the front of it. Vintage shell dictionary book page. And my sister had gifted me some beautiful little journaling cards that fit perfectly in here. Lace and just a little die-cut seahorse. And then here's the center of this signature. I put 2 vintage playing cards here and put some of those cut aparts, and then some dyed tickets, and have super deep pockets, and then just did the same thing on this side. Uh-oh. I may have glued this down too. It's okay. She can either cut it out or just leave it. It's actually kind of cute there. And then this little card, how cute. It says Fishers of Men with all these little fish. And then I just made a bunch of these little booklets up with little map pages, put a sticker, and stamped I'm on a Joy Journey. That's also an Allie Brown stamp. And I Believe Who You Say I Am is an Allie Brown stamp. Made these fun little cards. I've got to make some more of these. I think I have one more left after this, but I had to put one in here for her. And then this tiny little envelope with this tiny little starfish has this tiny little tag inside that says redeemed. Lynette had sent me some Happy Mail and it had those little bitty tags in there, so I had to put one in here. Used another die cut for a corner tuck spot. Stamped I'm Restored. Little sticker and just a little die cut. I love this colors on this page. Put a seahorse. He just had to live right there. And then I made, my paper clips. My paper clips stuck. So I just made a floating pocket and then put this little tag in here, and then in the center here I stamped, "He restores my soul," and it just goes down in the top. I was watching some of Lynette's older videos. My friend Lynette at Cheaply Chic, y'all know I talk about her all the time, but it was just one of her videos from I think last year, and she was just doing some easy ways to make ephemera for journals, and I had seen that video before, but when I'm stuck a lot, sometimes I'll just go watch her old videos, and I was like, okay, and that just turned out so cute. Did some stamping on an index card. It says, "I'm always with you," and has this little girl looking out in the ocean. I had to put this little crab sticker somewhere because how cute. I mean, it needs a pop of bright red, right? So I just thought that was perfect. Just to put him right here, just hide him on this page. It says waiting. I just used an offcut strip of paper. Kind of looks like paper washi. This looks like seashells. It probably is seashells because I think this was from the Sunny Days collection from Maggie Holmes. I just put it alongside the edge here. Put a shell on this paper clip. And then just put a book page and another prayer card. And she can cut out these shells and make more ephemera. This tiny little butterfly, Lynette also made me. It has glossy accents on it, so it feels really neat. It's just a punched out of music paper. Put a little shell charm here. And then this mermaid, this was in the birthday party stuff, so she has little holes in her head because she was strung through like a banner, you know, but I was laughing. I sent it to my daughters and I was like, she belongs in here because she's a holy mermaid. And then I wanted to make, in one of the journals I shared recently, I made a, like a little shaker out of this paint chip. It says Aqua Glow and Nautical on it, but it was a little too short to fit across these pages. I mean, a little too long. So she can cut it down and do, you know, whatever she wants to with it. But so I just put it in here. She's actually texted me a couple things, or not text, but DM'd me a couple things that she has done with paint chips, and they were so creative, and I thought she'll figure out, you know, something cute to do with it. Put one of these little bags that I was gifted from Melissa, and I just had to use the purple one in here, and I just put some basic things in here. And then here's the library pocket for this. I say this one, I made several of these for different ones, but this was the one I chose for this one. And then I just staple one of those die cuts, and it has a little gold starfish. And I had a tiny piece of this really, really old, I feel like it was antique, like maybe from the 1800s, early 1900s. This was some fish net that when I was on Lynette's design team, we had a couple pieces of in our nautical journals a couple times. Anyways, I had to put that in here. I thought that was really cute on that library card. So yeah, y'all let me know what you think. Let me know if you liked it or if you're like, that wasn't my jam, but I watched it. Or if you loved it, let me know. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all soon. Y'all have a great day. Bye.